Hello, folks. Welcome to the new edition of Quick Econ at Cafe Iqtisad. This is your host, Shahid Mahmood. I'm an economist by profession with over 2 decades of experience in writing, research, and media appearances on issues of economics. Today's topic, well, first of all, I hope you all are doing well out there. Today's topic, interesting one, why are countries, not exactly countries, but the central banks of countries seem to be increasingly stacking up on gold. Now they all have reserve. All the central banks do have reserves, but they are mostly denominated in currencies like dollar, euros. Mostly it's dollar, but there seems to be an increasing movement towards gold as part of reserve. So what explains that? And it's basically the countries that are considered part of the anti-American bloc, like Russia, China, and countries like that. So let's just briefly discuss what are the factors behind this. Well, first of all, gold has a very rich history and a very old history, going back more than 2,000 years, used as a monetary instrument, going all the way back to Greece at the times of Aristotle, and even before that, Aristotle, Socrates, and even before that. You must have heard the tales of King Croesus and his gold. So there are a lot of tales like that. Over time, it has been an important part of monetary history. The gold coins were have always been the most sought after and the most valuable, and the ones that impart the most buying power over a history. Then you had, before the First World War, you had the gold. The whole monetary system, the global monetary system, was based upon the gold standard. Basically, without going into details, all that money supply was based on the amount of gold that a country's bank would hold. But then there was movement away from that after Second World War. There was some connection between the dollar and the gold, which was severed by Richard Nixon. They call it closing of the gold window. That happened in probably in 73 or 1973 or 1974. Since then, most of the countries have depended upon currencies like dollar and other currencies like Japanese yen, then Swiss currencies, to be as part of their reserves. But now they are increasingly moving towards gold. So what exactly underpins that? First of all, a few interesting statistics for those who might want to know. As part of reserves, and this is surprising, as part of reserves, the United States has only $910 billion in reserves. Now compare that to the reserves at Central Bank of China. China has $3.5 trillion of reserve. Now $3.5 trillion of reserves, and the United States only holds $910 billion in reserves, and 75% of that is gold. Similarly, in Germany, which has around $380 billion of reserves, its gold holdings is also 75%. France, it's 72%. Italy, it's 70% of their reserves. The French reserves, I think they stand at 282 billion, and the Italian reserves to stand at $291 billion. So why is that? Why are they not holding the euros and dollars in their reserves and have such a huge percentage of gold in their reserve? You in the United States, I don't know if you've heard of it, but if you haven't, you must have heard tales of Fort Knox and all the gold bars over there. It has a lot of fables associated with it. But anyway, the thing But anyways, thing about these countries is that they can print their own currencies, and that primarily defines or explains why they are not holding dollars or euros in their reserves. The thing is that United States doesn't need to hold dollars because it prints those dollars. Similarly, the European countries under European Union, they print those currencies. So there is no need for holding dollar or euro reserves. They can always print that and make use of that. Then you come to other countries like China. It has $3.5 trillion of reserves, but gold makes up only 6.6% of that, which is up more than what it used to be a few years ago, like 3%. Then in India, which has reserves of around $660 billion, say, or $658 billion, it has 14% of reserve. There are some surprises, as 14% of reserves, as no, not 14 but 12% of reserves as gold. There are some surprises like Uzbekistan and Portugal. Portugal obviously has Portugal has only $40 billion in reserves, and similarly with Uzbekistan, it also has only $40 billion or $42 billion in reserves. But still, their gold holdings are quite substantial, around 70% or 69%. Bit difficult to explain why their central banks are holding that much gold. But anyways, so what's the primary reason that countries seem to be the central banks seem to be stacking up on gold? Well, first of all, and that division, especially in the wake of Ukraine and Russian war, from a unipolar world with only one superpower to a multipolar world, that movement where China, Russia, and others, some other economies, and then BRICS, a combination of economies like India, South Africa, China, Russia, they want to move away from the US dollar-based system because it comes with certain issues. But the biggest issue being that if you are using the US dollar, you have to use the United States SWIFT system, and US can always choke that off, throw you out like and impose sanctions, as I explained in my last vlog. So they want to move away from the dollar-based payment system, and so that's one reason why they are buying more gold. The second reason is that gold does tend to have its value, maintain its value. So in the last few years, specifically in the context of the Russo-Ukraine war, the returns haven't been good on various assets, but gold is one asset that has maintained its value. It hasn't dropped, and in fact, it has risen. So that's another reason that central banks and even private institutions are preferring gold more, because there is that volatility. And historically, whenever there has been volatility in global markets, gold has been one of the assets, go-to assets, the safety asset that people and organizations prefer. So it maintains its value. It's even in times of volatility, its demand rises. And the other thing is that it's after notes or after currencies like dollar and euros, these are the most liquid asset, the most acceptable asset, gold. So these are some of the reasons that gold is being preferred, but primarily the reason being geopolitical and economic, that countries, specifically those in the anti-US bloc that are considered part of the anti-US bloc, they want to move away from a dollar-based system because it comes with its restrictions. So that is the main reason. So hopefully, folks, I'll see you next time. Please do subscribe if you haven't, and press that bell icon. See you next time. Thank you.